Hi everybody, this is Chris for AFGolfStore and welcome to our first AF Golf afternoon tea where I speak to all of our members of staff, different guests each week, and just kind of get a feel for what's going on in the golf industry, take out your frequently asked questions from our customers, whether they're in the shop, general conversations, or through email and on social media. So we're going to kick off. One of the most frequently asked questions that we get quite a lot is, are golf lessons worth it? So as I said, today I'm with Alan, and Alan, what do you think? Golf lessons, are they worth it? What would you expect from a golf lesson?
Well, I mean, bear in mind we sell golf lessons, Chris, so I'd probably say yes from a business perspective. I think the biggest problem with golf lessons is that the golfer doesn't really do their research and their due diligence before they embark on a coaching journey, if you like. I think the golf lesson world has kind of gone into a really weird place where it's all about long-term development and massive 6 months and 12 months coaching programs. And as much as there's part of me that believes in that for someone that wants to take this forward in their career or has a genuine passion for the game, I think the problem a lot of the time is most of the golfers that I've seen in my coaching career want to play better on Saturday. They want to have a loose relationship with the game where they feel that they're getting small incremental improvements. I think the problem is sometimes is that when we come to a golf lesson, there's too much focus on, or the player has too much focus on what they're not capable of doing. So you've experienced this, where the guy walks in for the first lesson, Chris, I can't do this, and this, or you ask them that one simple question, which is, what do you want to get out of it? And their answer typically is consistency, or hit their driver further. Well, there's no real benchmark. So from a coach's standpoint, I haven't really, what am I supposed to do with that? We consistently say, you hit it rubbish now, so should we leave it where we are? I think there's got to be a little bit more understanding from when you're embarking on golf lessons of what is the end game. What are you trying to get out of it? Is it you want to hit a draw? Is it you want to hit your driver 15 yards further? There's got to be more specific in what you're getting. So are golf lessons worth it? Come back to your original question. Yes, as long as you set out what you're trying to get out from them in the first place.
Okay. Yeah. So kind of touching back on where you started there, you said about golf is kind of going more long-term development, and you might not be so much of a fan of with that. What would you go back 15, 20 years when you were kind of good. More of a player? What would you have gone for? Would you have gone for the kind of, I won't call it a quick fix, but maybe the once a month, once a 6 weeks, or when you were really trying to strive to be a player, would you not have fallen into that long-term development category yourself?
I think it's a really good question. I think if I look back 20 years ago when I wanted to be a player, what I needed at that time was a little bit more guidance and support from a coach, someone probably to help me more with the mental side of the game, or with actually an old friend of mine that I used to work with used to say that I was a great golf ball striker, could swing it great, but I didn't know how to golf my golf ball. So I never embarked on, and then back in those days, you didn't have guys that would come out on the golf course and watch you play. It wasn't a thing. It wasn't accessible as it is now, and it's not seen to be accessible, and that's where the coaching world has moved on. So from my point of view, yes, I think I would have liked to have a coach to coach me rather than a instructor instruct me how to swing the golf club. And it comes back to what I was just saying, which is, what did I need? I wasn't acutely aware at that point, and I wanted to do it for a living. I wasn't aware of what I needed, and I think sometimes that's the problem. But I think I definitely should have been coached, but I didn't know what that meant. I didn't know what it was. I'm a big advocate of making sure that there is a set time frame and set goals in place, and holding the golf, it sounds daft, but holding the golf pro to account. Mm-hmm. For me, these guys, we included, we charge a lot of money for a golf lesson. Now, don't get me wrong, golf pros have a serious amount of expertise, but we can't put all golf pros in one pot. I don't think we should. I think we charge a good sum of money for their time, which is great, but I would expect results at the end of that. Now, come back, as we both know, is, yeah, but Johnny didn't practice, or you didn't hit enough balls. Yeah, great, but come on. Like, I would want to make sure that I know what I'm getting for my money, and I know what, and I'm grading and valuing that result based on how long it take me, how quickly did it make me achieve. If someone says to me, I can get you to hit a draw in 5 golf balls, then great. I think the other thing is why take 6 months to do something where you can do it in 2 hours? You know, the long-term athlete development model works in a lot of sports, especially professional sports, where there's no fee involved. Okay, so if I'm charging you by the hour, if I'm paying you, I want you to fix me as quick as possible, right? I want you to get me fixed in an hour. I want you to hit me draw in an hour, 5 balls. And I think there's not enough premium put on 30-minute lessons more regular than there are on long hour lessons. I know for a fact that as a player, give me 40 minutes of golf coaching, I'm bored.
Yeah.
And that sounds bad, you know, and we advocate hour lessons. Where 1, 2, 3, 4 hour lessons work great is when I'm on the golf course with the coach, right? But again, not everyone needs to be on the golf course. Not everyone needs to be having hours of swing mechanics, loads of technical information. I want to know, what do I need to do to hit the shot I want to hit tomorrow, or chip or putt or whatever.
Yeah. Let's take a step back and go back to the guidance part. I take everything you've said on board, but from a guidance perspective, I think that's the most important. Like, how many players do you get come for a lesson, or you used to? That just would come in and be like, I'm slicing the golf ball, can you sort out my drive? I'm playing on Saturday, I need to sort my drive out. But the reality is, you can sort that slice out. They might hit a few more fairways, but they still get to the green and they 3-putt, or they might still have the chipping woes, or they might not actually be aiming in the right place anyway. So they might correct the slice, but still miss the fairway. So you're saying about why do 6 sessions when you could do 1. I think the guidance part's so important that actually the advice I would be giving to any golfer going for a golf lesson is to make sure you're going with an open mind, and make sure that you're able to tell everything to your coach, be able to answer all questions honestly. Don't go in trying to BS your way through it, because at the end of the day, they're going to figure it out eventually. And that's where you usually end up getting stung for 7 or 8 lessons, because you end up wasting 2 lessons doing the wrong thing, and then eventually the coach picks up, you told me that you had this issue, actually that's not the core problem to your golf game. I actually like the idea of doing 6 sessions, but session 1 being more of a mapping session where you're able to go out on the golf course. I always liked, when I was coaching full time, going out on the golf course in lesson 1, because I could really identify where the weaknesses are, and there's so many players will go for a lesson, they don't know what their problem is, not really, and sometimes they need it pointed out, and then it's like that light bulb moment, oh yeah, actually that's where I need to work on it, and now we can start to build a program, whether it might just be 1 session, it might be that quick fix, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with quick fixing. I think it gets such a bad stigma.
I agree with that.
But I think most of the time, if you want to get to a goal, I think, well, A, you've got to have that goal, and B, you need the coach to be able to guide you in that direction, and put full trust in the coach that they're going to be able to take you there in 3 sessions, 6 sessions. It might be a whole year and it's once a month. And
I don't disagree with any of that. I think we've just got to make sure the golfer is at the heart of what we're doing. I think the coach lessons, golf lessons, can be led too much by the coach, where they should be led by the player. 99% of the golfers that walk through our doors do it because they have a real job and they enjoy going out on a Saturday, and they get to play once a month or once every 2 weeks or whatever it may be. So when you say about, can I fix that slice? Yeah, he might 3-putt, but he doesn't care that he's 3-putting. what he cares about is he wants to stop slicing the golf ball. He just wants to, hitting 3 draws on Wednesday morning is more enjoyment of the game for him. And I think we've got to balance up this idea that everyone needs to improve versus everyone needs to enjoy the game more. And I think there's a real balance of where people sit on that continuum, if you like. The question I'd throw at you is how do these guys watching at home find the right coach? Because there's lots of golf pros. There's 2 of us here. How do if me and you were standing in a lineup and our faces are on a little board and notice board outside, who's going to be better? Not necessarily knowledge, because we know who's got more of that, but who is going to be more reflective and more relatable to whoever's walking in that door? How do these guys go about picking the right coach? What would you do?
It's good, good question. And to be honest, if I was back to my amateur days, probably wouldn't. Maybe I don't actually know the answer to that. What I did do is I was a member of a golf club, so naturally I was put in the direction of my head pro. Yeah. And that's how I ended up having golf lessons. As it worked out, he was a good coach, and it worked well for me. The advice that I'd give anybody is just rather than just booking a lesson, go and speak to the pros first. Not
always easy though.
No, absolutely.
But these guys know that, right? They're going to turn up maybe let's turn up at our Peterborough store or our Cambridge store, and they'll walk in, can I have a word with Jack, or can I have a word with Jason? And they're busy. They're coaching, they're fitting, they're busy. So grabbing 10 minutes and 20 minutes at a time is not always easy. So I 100%, my take on it would be, we need to communicate to the coach before you book the lesson. Now, I think with modern day social media, with Instagram, with Facebook, with email, I think it's incredibly important that I agree that they have 10 minutes. Whether they can pop in and have a chat is a different matter. But I think before I would book a lesson with Jack or Jason or Adam or Rob, the one thing is for sure is I would want to send an email and say, hi, my name's Alan. This is what I'm looking to achieve. Can you help me? Yeah. And build that relationship before they start engaging in that 30-minute, 60-minute, 2-hour process. And I don't see enough of that. A
lot of it's done more word of mouth, isn't it? My friend had a lesson with you, and that's how I picked up a lot of my lessons. Is my friend had a lesson with you. They're now hitting more fairways. I want to hit more fairways. Yeah. But yeah, I think it just goes, as you said, being able to have that forum or the opportunity to be able to speak to people, whether it's Instagram, a message on Instagram, or a message even through any social media platform, LinkedIn, YouTube, whatever it may be, just have that open conversation before that this is where I'm at, this is where my game's at, what do you suggest? And as a coach as well, I've never been ashamed to say to somebody, actually, I don't think I'm the right coach for you. Jack will suit you better, because they may have said, look, I'm really, really struggling with my putting, and I know full well that putting was never my strongest bag. I never spent all my time coaching putting, where Jack may have done, and I have no qualms, because at the end of it, as you said earlier, it's about the player and the player's needs. And I think obviously us as a business, we strive for that. Like, we've always talked a lot about the team ethos within AFGolfStore, and that there's no shame in me giving somebody a swing lesson and being their swing coach, and you being their putting coach. Yeah. And
I wouldn't want that to happen. That wouldn't be fair on the client,
right? Okay, so to kind of wrap that up and summarise it, kind of waffled a little bit there, which is always good, but going back to the original question, are golf lessons worth it? What do we kind of expect from a golf lesson? I think the big thing that you said there was enjoyment. Is the player going to get more enjoyment out of their game? I think if I was playing regularly and wanted to have a golf lesson, the reason I'm going to have a golf lesson is because I'm upset with how I'm playing at the moment. I want to find a way to be happy again, enjoy my golf again. Anything else to add on that?
Yeah, I think really simply is I see it the way I see a personal trainer or an instructor of that nature, which is not everyone's going to a personal trainer to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. They're going to that personal trainer to make themselves feel, look better, be a little bit more healthy, lose a little bit of weight, whatever it may be. It's the same with golf lessons for me. You go to a golf pro not to turn into Tiger Woods. You go to be a little bit better, for a little bit more enjoyment, to keep up some consistency in your swing, if you like. So I think that's the way I would view it. I think there's a couple of key points. What are you trying to get out of it? So which one's more valuable to you? Fixing the slice, fixing the chipping, or whatever it may be. So set your own agenda first. Number 2, engage in a coach's conversation, email, whatever, beforehand. So you build a relationship with the person that you're then going to go and spend time and money with. Number 3, commit to learning, to commit to actually asking questions, commit to challenging the golf pro, commit to practice as well, you know. And I'm not talking about 40,000 balls a week. I'm talking about maybe driving range session once every 2 weeks if you've never done it before. It doesn't need to be bucket loads, but commit to some standard of practice. And also set an end goal. I think so when I say an end goal, set a time frame, set a point in time where I've got a company golf day, I've got the club championships, I've got the whatever it may be, and that you're working towards something. I think if you add those kind of 4 key points, golf lessons become worth it. I think without that level of due diligence, without that level of structure going into them, they become a very expensive habit with no real return. So yeah, that's what I would do. So I think there's some really key points for you guys there. I think if you've never engaged in golf lessons, it's difficult. I think what we haven't touched on there is if you are a beginner, or you're a lady, or you're a junior, or you're a guy that wants to just get into the game, group lessons are typically the best way forward. You can meet new people, it's less intense. That's definitely one thing I would look at for all new golfers. But I think the real importance is that if you are looking to have, especially with us, you know, I would want you to send an email to either Chris or one of the coaches, and have even if it's a 1 email conversation about what do you recommend, who do you recommend, what would be best for me, rather than just log straight into the website and book someone under no recommendation, under no thought, and no real talking to anybody. We want to make sure that our players, our customers, the golfers that the team work with are getting value for money. They're getting the right person in front of them doing the right thing, and I think that's really, really important. And it's not easy. It's not always easy to do, but I do think it's something that if we get those things right, golf lessons, yes, are 100% worth it.
Perfect. Nice one. Okay, so maybe we'll get back together and have another chat. You mentioned group lessons there. What type of lesson would be best for you? So I think that opens up a completely new conversation. So
one thing I would say, Chris, is that obviously this is our first afternoon tea. Chris is going to be, you said at the beginning, didn't you, that you're going to be interviewing some of the rest of our staff. In the comments and below in Facebook and in Instagram, if you want a topic covered, if you want to hear from one of our members of staff, we've got some excellent members of staff, from coaches to club fitters, on any topic golf. Chris is going to be interviewing them a topic every week. So I think what's really, really fun with this is that we want to hear from you. Message Chris, message us, build up what you want to hear about. It could be a product review, it could be something to do with custom fitting, it could be talking about the US Masters and Tiger Woods. We're golfers. We love golf. We love talking golf. Our team love talking golf. So please message, comment in the box below, and we'll look forward to this next week.
Yeah, perfect. Took the words out of my mouth. See you all next week.